Hey everyone, this is Heaving Bosoms, the podcast where two best friends recap romance novels while differing about nudes and supporting each other.
Stack our shelves with the clinches out. Shout it from the rooftop, can you hear the sound? Yeah. Live your best life, love it out loud. Love it out loud.
Hey HBs. Okay, we cannot believe that it's already November. I hope you're finishing up your reading embraces for 2024. We've been getting emails all year and we are loving them. To enter the reading embrace, you can either email us or use the spreadsheet that we have posted in the cult on Facebook. Then we'll be able to embrace you in our episode in January. I love hearing y'all's reasons for your book selections on each of our ridiculous categories, so I'm really looking forward to it. This week on the bonus feeds, we're giving you a long quickie on the 7th book in the Immortals After Dark series, Kiss of a Demon King. It's our other favorite rage demon and the scaldingly hot sorceress who is determined to break him. Y'all, this book is so many levels of bananas. It's so good. This week, we're recapping the first in a series that is shaping up to be one of my favorites of all time, ? Here's our recap of Impromptu Match by Lily Mayne. Sabrina.
Oh, hello. Oh my God, look at us. We're not living corpses anymore.
Right? Look at us go. Existing in the world.
Listener, this is our first normal episode recording since I've been back from England, which was, that was a short fucking trip. I probably spent as much time traveling as I did in England.
On the ground. Yeah.
But no, we tried to record a couple of days ago, but we were both so sick. And we were like,
sick.
We're going to do a quickie. I can't do a full episode today.
Yeah. We just treated ourselves to a friend catch up and a quickie. Mm-hmm. And that is kind of a perfect morning, frankly.
It was kind of perfect. Although I just found out new information literally 3 seconds before we started recording, a listener, that apparently Melody has said this aloud on podcast. I don't remember that.
I think I have.
Even if you haven't,
sure.
You've never told me to my beautiful face.
Yes.
That you've never received a dick pic.
Okay, I've never received a dick pic. I will asterisk that though, because I did tell a man friend, that I had never received a dick pic.
Oh my
and
God,
then
did
he
they
sent
red,
me
red,
a text
white,
message.
And royal blue you.
What does that mean?
They send
what did they do in
to
red,
each
white,
other,
and
but they're like Richard Cheney and like Dick Cheney and famous dicks throughout history.
No, he sent a picture of his penis.
Oh.
Because he was like, it's wrong that you haven't received a dick pic. And so I saw that it's wrong that you've never received a dick pic. And then another text came in when I was in my inbox. And I deleted it before I looked at it. So I guess I have received a dick pic, but I have not seen a dick pic.
Okay. The reason that this was so startling the reason this even came up, listener, is I
mean, I'm a millennial woman in the world who dates men sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the reason that this came up, though, specifically is that I was telling Mel that I'm so excited. Me and this cute person that I've been kind of on and off chatting to for weeks just exchanged off app information, except I have been literally stalked off of dating apps, so I don't give out my phone number anymore. I have to have met you or video chatted with you. Anyway, the point is I'm a fuckboy because all of these people are like, here's my cell phone number. Feel free to shoot me a text. And I'm like, What if we did Snapchat
It's a Snapchat
instead?
is the next rung on my ladder.
Yeah,
Wanna-
like Snapchat's next. Maybe Discord, depending, like maybe Discord. But like,
Mhm.
I always feel like a fuckboy though, because I'm like, what if we did like Snapchat instead? And I almost always, and I didn't for this one, which is promising because he's had my Snapchat for more than 24 hours without the disclaimer, but I usually give the disclaimer to these people. If you send me an unsolicited dick pic, I'm blocking you.
Good.
And like I was telling Mel that the fucking sick irony of it is if you wait 48 hours, I'm a horny asshole and I will ask you for your dick. My God. Okay. Like hold your horses, bro. Like
Just wait for me to ask.
hold your horses.
Yeah.
Or your roosters as the case may be.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah, I've never received a dick pic, and I don't know.
That's
Do I just
mind-boggling
date
to me.
classy people? I don't know. I don't know what that's
don't
about.
believe that for the slightest.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed.
I love you, but like, I'm just going to throw it out there. I don't think that that's what's happening here.
I also haven't received, boob pics. I haven't received like private part
Well, and
pics.
that's the thing is it's no unsolicited pics, but also like it's not none. Like I don't want to see titties. I don't want to see pussies.
Yeah.
I don't want to see penises. Unsolicited. I don't know. I was trying to think of an IES word for penis. Because cockies, I don't like that.
a dickie.
Dickies. There's
Doesn't
gotta be.
matter. Go ahead.
I feel like there's got to be a slang out there for it, but like I don't want unsolicited anything, right? Literally,
Yes.
wait 48 hours, and I will inevitably.
You'll open the door to a pic.
I'll
is what
open the
you'll
door
do.
to a pic because probably what'll happen is I'm gonna be like, "Would you like a picture?" Because I'm a nude sender. I love sending nudes and receiving nudes, and so like
Interesting. I have also
What?
never done a nude send.
you've never sent. I have a whole
Mm-mm.
folder of my favorite nudes that I've ever taken that are like
That's
my
amazing.
go-to. But anyway,
Nope. I've never
yeah,
sent
like
a nude.
literally, I just need to wait 2 seconds and then you can send me whatever the fuck a picture of wherever you want your knuckles to be. You know what I mean? Like, I just
Can I tell you the closest I got to sending a nude?
absolutely.
Okay. It was with my first boyfriend, long distance. We were long distance. And I don't know if he asked or what, but I have always been like weirdly high alert about that because apparently
That's your line.
revenge porn has always been in the back of my mind. You know what I mean? So
I should be more worried about that. I have very, very recognizable tattoos.
yeah. Well, okay. So what I did was I had a bra on. I had it was a fully padded. You couldn't see through it. there was lace on top of the pad. Okay. But I took a few pictures on my digital camera of me in my padded bra.
On your digital camera.
That's right.
You're
And then
dating
when
yourself.
I flew to go see him, I let him look at them on the digital camera. That's it. And then the worst thing almost happened. Because I thought I was being super safe, right? I thought I was being super safe by doing this, right? And then we go to Disneyland or something, and then we go to have lunch with his mom. And so I'm showing her pictures of the trip to wherever. And I very, very nearly almost clicked one photo too many into my bra photos. And thank goodness that didn't happen.
No, you know how there are some people in the world where it's like, because like we don't even have to be sexy for me to send you like a sexy pic. Because like sometimes I'm like, I'm really proud of this picture. Do you want to see?
No,
this
totally. Yeah.
hot ass picture that I took of myself?
Yeah.
Some of them are, more risque than others. I'm just in the most fuckboyiest way possible. I'm just an appreciator of the human form.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. You know what, though? I really liked the way the nudes were used in this book. And And it was like, at one point, one of the characters gets the other one flowers, and one of the reasons he sends is for your photography skills.
I don't remember
love
that
it.
part.
Oh my God. Well, let's get into it.
By the way, listener, Mel not only has a copy of my notes,
Yeah, I doubt I'll use them.
she has also listened to this book 3 times in a row. I listened to the first 87% of this book before I went to England
Okay.
and took notes on it, and then finished it after I got back from England and was sick, and I haven't looked over my notes once.
Okay. Exciting.
So we're just going at it, okay? Great notes, and I have no idea what's in there. I know there's a lot of quoting.
Lots of quoting. The writing in this is so good.
Okay, listener, we are doing Monster Dong WrestleMania by Lily Mayne.
Yeah. Yeah, it's called Impromptu Match.
Okay, Mel, I have to ask you, is this a perfect book?
Is this a perfect book? Is one of my questions I have for you.
Mm-hmm.
The answer is yes.
Okay, let me set the stage. This is single person point of view, first person. It is a rom-com. There's no third act breakup. There's no angst. It is just a fluffy, delightful, hysterical.
So fucking funny. To
I
the
kept
point.
having to pause.
Yes.
Because I was laughing so hard I was crying and I couldn't hear. Oh, I also have a question for you.
Yeah.
Melody, does Holt Hector in the audiobook sound like Bob Belcher from Bob's Burgers or Archer from Archer to you?
Oh, I hadn't made that connection, but maybe.
It's not the same. I did go check because it literally, the minute he came on in my ears, I was like, am I about to listen to Bob fucking Belcher dirty talk me? I did. I have no regrets.
Love it. No, the audiobook is so good. And book 2 is a dual POV. And so they have 2 different male narrators. One of them is the narrator from book 1.
Oh my gosh.
And so
he
there
is
was
perfect.
almost
His
he's so perfect.
inflection.
Yes.
He was the perfect narrator for this book.
Agreed. Well, and it was weird in book 2 listening because this narrator was like OG, Monster Dong WrestleMania for me. When I got into the second one and the other wonderful, very talented narrator tried to do his version of Holt's voice, I was just like, oh, that's the wrong kind
That's
of person.
wrong.
That's
Who
I'm
did?
so
Okay,
sorry.
so
Wrong.
who did OG narrator do? Seb or Larkin?
Larkin. Of course he did Larkin. Come on.
Thank fucking God. Okay, let's just fucking dig into it because we're gonna fade faster than we think that we will. And we have a lot of book to get through because we're gonna have to fucking push ourselves because otherwise this is gonna be an 18-part episode. I feel like I say that every fucking time.
So we're in an Earth Times realm, okay? It is just regular contemporary. We go to an office times right now. And there is this poor man who is just miserable.
Taylor Hugh.
Taylor Hugh is miserable.
He's having an existential crisis.
Hugely. Just to give you a little taste of the writing, he's talking about what he looks like. And he says, now I was just pale and washed out, bags permanently under my eyes, tension lines bracketing my mouth, which looked all miserable and droopy. Dick-starved, I decided. It was a miserable, dick-starved mouth. I hadn't had a dick in my mouth in 4 years. Whatever muscles were used for dick sucking had probably just given up.
Oh, God. And then get ready for a check that got cashed because he says, or maybe it was the ice cream eating muscles that had given up. Now I was picturing a nice hard dick covered in ice cream and I was getting a sad boner.
Sad boner. Okay, so we spend the first 2 chapters with Taylor at his job. He does corporate PR. He doesn't know what anything means.
I've
he
never
just
felt more seen
recreates
in my entire life.
corporate drivel and clocks in and clocks out.
Synergy is
He has no
important.
idea what that means. He doesn't know what the business does. Even he's like B2B solutions. I don't know. I'm just in the PR department.
Mm-hmm.
And he got this job because the great love of his life up until this point wanted him to be a more stable, down-to-earth person.
Angry on
Oh, yeah.
behalf of Taylor Hugh. So Taylor ends up taking this corporate job. He stops
Cutting
doing
his
these
hair.
fun, crazy things. He doesn't go bike riding anymore. He does he is the
No, he
archetype.
starts bike riding for Mark.
Oh yeah. So he is the archetype of like a Monday through Friday 8 to 5 business guy who like goes and bicycles on every Saturday morning on the weekend. And
He starts ironing his boxers.
his underwear. Everything.
And he did this all for Marcus. He gave up dairy for Marcus.
And then Marcus leaves him for a new agey hipster
Yoga man.
15 years younger who takes him to orgies. And when he left, he was like, I'm sorry, Taylor, but you're just too boring for me. Sir!
I just didn't see my life like this. And he's like, wait a minute, you designed our life like this. I did all of this for you. And like, Taylor, that's something else that you need to interrogate a little bit in yourself.
No, he doesn't. Not
No, he doesn't.
now. Not now.
anymore.
Because like he's realized he actually kind of likes his boring life, but like
Yeah.
he's angry that the love of his life left him because of that boring life now. Also, I would like to say Taylor Hugh has one massive glaring fault, like hugely. And I have issues with Lily Main about it.
Uh-huh.
Fuck you, lemon cake is delicious. Fuck you, lemon cake is my favorite flavor of cake. For my birthday,
it?
Oh my
You're
God.
a Sharon?
Lemon anything.
Wow. Ember is also a lemon and lemon cake. I have been forced to make lemon cake for my son.
I was about to say spread it all over my body, but actually that's the opposite of what I want because then I can't eat it.
Yeah, you
I will
can't
spread
eat
it
it.
all over your body.
Yeah.
And then, yeah,
You can make a Dick a la mode instead of a Dick Sunday.
there is like some serious lemon cake hate. Listen to this, listener, because I was appalled. I had to like pause the book. I was like, is this necessary? Is this
slander? The
Because
negativity.
He says he's at a oh god, and I felt so fucking he's at a coworker birthday party where they have to like stay after hours and they have like sad lukewarm tap beer.
And it's on premises. It's not even like, let's go to a bar.
Yeah, and he says, thanks, even though it was lemon cake, which was the cake choice of evil villain overlords hell-bent on sowing chaos and destruction, in my opinion. Are you, Mindy? Because Mindy says she likes the cake. Isn't this cake good? And he thinks to himself, are you, Mindy? Are you really glad? Or is your eye twitching slightly as you eat it? Because deep down, you know lemon cake is what the devil would choose to torture all the damned souls in hell with. And then he thinks, if I had to stay for much longer, I was pretty sure I'd end up doing something unhinged, like ripping open my shirt and smearing lemon cake all over my chest while laughing maniacally. I'd snap. The lemon cake hatred is throughout the entire book. It was unnecessary. It was rude. It felt like a direct attack. And you're wrong, Taylor, frankly.
Sure, man. So he's forced to go to this party. And one of Taylor's big things is while he's at work, he cannot tell whether all of these people are sincere in their, like, you know, dad joke, we love our corporate job. What do you think about this font situation? Or if they're all white knuckling it and faking it like he is. He cannot figure it out. So he decides to escape and he goes to the roof. And then he promptly, because he hasn't had cake or extra sugar in so long, that he promptly sugar crashes and passes out on the roof.
And then he wakes up.
At 9.
Yeah, and like everyone's gone. His buddy's gone. The office is locked. He has no way back in. And his friend is like, hey, go talk to security. They should let you in. You can get your keys. You can do whatever. And he goes downstairs to find security. And he ends up coming across like a bunch of like alt motherfuckers walking into a unmarked door in the lobby. And he's like, what is happening here?
What is going on? There's all these punk rock people. What's happening?
And then he walks up to the door and this dude pops up out of nowhere and he's like, oh, thank fuck you're here. Like, oh my gosh.
Oh man, Holt has been in such a bad mood.
you did such a good job, bro. Like, this is such a good outfit. Like, you definitely look like the saddest office worker. Come on, buddy. And then he, like, gets yoinked down these stairs. And as
and
they're
Taylor
walking,
is like, no, I'm not. What are you talking about? I just work here. Like, I'm just trying to get into my building. And he's like, yeah, I know. That's the deal. This is
he's
shtick.
like, I'm not a fucking character. I am a sad office worker who hates his life. And this dude who we find out his name is Larkin. Larkin, and he's like, yeah, perfect, bro.
Perfect.
And, like,
Keep that up. Keep that
and
up.
he like yoinks him, and then they get into this room, okay? This waiting room.
Well, because he says, he like looks at his sheet and he's like, no, he specifically requested, he squinted down at the clipboard, sad office worker forced to attend a colleague's birthday party. I mean, that's clearly you. And he's like, no, that is just genuinely me. So then they get down there and Larkin's like, the strippers arrived and everyone keeps on smelling him. And he cannot figure out why.
Through the door, he can hear somebody go, oh, man, that ennui.
I can smell it from here. I'm already getting hard. Like, bring him in. Close the door, Larkin. We can get him started right away.
He goes into this room, and there's this, like, lanky, tall, gray-skinned motherfucker with pink eyes and pink fingernails who looks over, and he's like, oh, man, I just want to feel that sense of dread specific to a man who has just realized that the crushing grind of his daily life will inevitably leave him an empty husk.
Well, wasn't that a fresh slap of reality right in the fucking face? Yeah, take the tie off first, he purred, and tell me how it felt to stand in that sad, lifeless room with all your colleagues and realize you'd be doing it for another 30 years. And Taylor is like, what? He's like, yeah. Ooh, a life filled with little disappointments that you didn't even realize at first were wearing you down into this. He waved a hand in my direction, his eyes flaring with lust. Okay, that was enough. This was weird as fuck, and I was not going to let this hot cosplaying stranger sit there and accurately assess the sad state of my life. I was perfectly fine doing that myself, alone, in private.
And so then Taylor starts that. He's like, you know what? Fuck you, dude. I'm not the dancer you hired. I'm not that person. I'm just a normal guy. And yes, I am depressed. And yes, I did have to go to an office birthday party. And yes, I'm boring. And you think I don't know how depressing my life is that I ironed my underpants and that I got the BBC iPlayer just so I can watch every episode of EastEnders. And do you know how long that show's been run? And he's like going through all of the boring things that he's like, and that I'm 39 years old and I have no hope until I retire, and I'm probably not even going to be able to retire because of the economy.
And then as this tirade comes to an end, Holt is getting more and more like chagrined. And then as this tirade comes to an end, there's a ping, and he feels the party hat that he didn't know he was still wearing shoot off of his head.
And he like finally is looking at it and he's like, so you're not the stripper.
He's like, no. So then he goes outside and he overhears Holt saying, Larkin, that is not the stripper. Like, I don't even think that he's a lemur. What is it? It's not Empin. That's what he is.
Empin, it is...
Doesn't matter. It's this special kind of supernatural being that is a true shapeshifter, can do anything, can change into anything. He's like, I don't even think... A lampier. Close with lemur. Say it.
You know, I like lemur.
Okay, all right. So he's like, I don't even think he's a lampier. And Larkin is like, what are you talking about? He smelled like lemons. And Holt is like, what? What do you mean? You don't think that was from the lemon frosting smeared all over his chin? And then Larkin goes, I thought that was just part of the costume. And Taylor is standing there and like wiping his chin and being like, oh, fuck.
Well, and Seb, the like bodyguard guy, he's like, lemon cake? Eat that. Because fuck you, Seb, too. Fuck all of you. Okay? I would eat that.
Oh my God. So Holt is like, get Axel down here and we need to take care of this. But then as he walks back in, he's like, hey, Taylor, I'm really sorry about this. You know, we're just going to hang out for a while and then my friend is going to come and we'll just, iron this all out. but like, wait, you're not going to remember any of this, which is incredible. So why don't we just like tell each other everything? He's downing drinks.
He's getting
hammered
drunk together. They're telling each other all sorts of stuff. Like this becomes a huge thing in the book. Holt tells him all about his asymmetrical balls and how one hangs lower than the other. And he thinks that it's because one time he got it stuck in between the slats while he was fucking somebody on a chair.
And he's like, do you think that's why I don't have a long-term partner, Taylor?
Because
of
like, what? Testicles.
Taylor tells him all about Marcus. He tells him about
because
the time.
they get drunk as the fuck together.
Oh yeah, they get Hammertown. They are trying to not remember tomorrow. Because Holt keeps on saying, you're not going to remember this. And Taylor is like, well, I don't even believe that. Like, I don't know what y'all are talking about, but like, let's assume that's true. You will still remember it. And Holt is like, no, I'll just get so blotto that like I won't remember anything. So Taylor tells him about how he almost gave himself a concussion using his dildo in the shower. Holt tells him that one time he was cited for like nudity in Japan because he was going across a crosswalk.
His pants were so tight that they split down the ass and he doesn't wear underwear.
And so he says an entire group of Japanese businessmen saw my butthole. Oh my God, this book is so fucking funny.
And then they're talking about like, why do you think we're alone kind of thing? And, and Taylor, so now they're eating ice cream, by the way. Dude, the drunk decisions that they make in this book, I felt
it was wow.
This is one of those books that you read and you can feel the hangover. Like you by proxy.
Yes.
It was hard to read those scenes because I was like, where's my ibuprofen? I think I need an eggnormous burrito from Burger King to deal with this hangover.
I need to put one foot on the ground because the room is still spinning.
Yeah. And so they're eating ice cream and then they decide, they're like, oh man, you know what would be great? If we put ice cream on our dicks.
Just to see what it looks like.
They're like trying to get their dicks out.
And then one of them was like, I'm too drunk to get hard.
Me
and
too,
the other
bro.
one's like,
we'll just hold it up. We'll just hold it up.
I'm so sorry, Sabrina. I have to cut you off here because the phrasing is amazing. It says, we'll just hold our dicks aloft.
Well, and then, importantly, very importantly, while they're drunk as fuck, Holt looks at him and he's like, no way. You're a total catch, Taylor. And you've got a fantastic ass. I noticed it when I was coming back into the room earlier. No, you didn't.
No way.
Yeah, I did. And your nice mouth and your eyes are really pretty. Honestly, if we weren't both totally wasted right now, I'd be hitting on you for sure. You would not. Look at you. You're like flawless. Ugh. Oh my God. I so am not. And yes, I totally would be. And that's saying something because I've never had sex with a human before, Taylor, but I'd totally bang you.
Yeah.
Very important.
Oh, also, the real stripper arrived and Holt was like, I'm actually in the middle of something. Never mind.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Holt is an empath. And so he sort of piggybacks off of emotions. He's like the ultimate empath. And he's got gray skin. He's got long, blackish, pink, like a pink tinted black hair. He's got elf ears. And then his eyes are bright pink with like a wobbly iris. Like they're not quite perfectly circular. And so Holt is like, well, what do you think is happening here? And he's like, well, I thought this was like, it's a wrestling thing, right? Because on the wall, there's this neon sign. There is so much neon signage that like, I think I need to make neon signs my new personality, ?
Holt is so tacky and I love him so much.
Same. He is a diva in the best way. So there's a neon sign on the wall that says Goliaths of Wrestling. And he's like, so this is your wrestling outfit, right? And he's like, oh yeah, I'm Pink Eye. And he's like, oh, okay. Anyway, so he wakes up at home.
Well, hang on. We find out that night that as they're about to put ice cream on their penises, there's a knock, and Larkin pops in and he's like, hey, boss, sorry, Axel's out of town for 3 weeks. So, yeah. He's not coming.
We don't know any other mind eraser boys.
And Holt, literally, we told each other all of these deep and embarrassing secrets because Holt said neither of us would remember in the morning. Except now, Axel the memory wiper wasn't coming. Well, Holt looked around his office, down at the ice cream, then back at me. This is awkward. And then we zippy zap to Hangover Town.
Yeah, the next morning. But here's the thing, listener. I think I've been reading a little bit too much dark romance because I heard Larkin say that. And I was like, oh, well, he has to kidnap him and keep him hostage for 3 weeks until Axel gets back. Obviously, it's going to be forced proximity, and that's why they're going to fall in love. That's the only option I thought of.
You know, Mel, it's just, I think the weirdest thing about hearing you talk about dark romance like this is you've definitely read some dark romance, but the specific hole that you've gone down recently is all because of me.
Yeah.
And it makes me laugh because I think now you read more dark romance than I do.
Lately. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I'm in my Silver Fox era right now, listener, so Mel's definitely reading the dark romance.
I bet there's some Silver Fox daddy dark romance, though. Come on.
Oh, I have it. I know several authors with it, but this specific series, oh boy.
Is it delicious?
Oh my God. I'm going to give you a quickie on it because I am so horny for these old men and they're young women. I can't help it. I'm so sorry. It's so fucking good. So anyway, he wakes up the next morning and when I tell you I felt this hangover, I have also lived this. This is a lived experience. It was like reading this I was dying laughing. So he wakes up. He has no memory of the night before, but he has one single photo of him with this dude. And he's like, what the hell is that? And then
he says, I don't remember anything. Oh, I guess the memory wipe worked. Wait a second. That doesn't make any sense.
And he starts having little memories come filtering slowly back into his brain.
This man gets to work. He goes to work on Friday, hungover as fuck. He has never taken a sick day. What is the matter with Taylor? Just call in sick. You're hungover, dude. He goes in. And in the lobby waiting for him is the bodyguard that he saw last night, Seb. And he's like, hey, Holt just wants to see you for a few minutes in his office over here. And Taylor's like, oh no. There should be like a law that says we can't see each other ever again because of the incredibly embarrassing things we know about each other. Then he walks into Holt's above ground office. And he has got these 1950s cat eye sunglasses that are askew on his face.
After everyone leaves, it's just him and Taylor in there. He's like, so how much do you remember of last night? And like Taylor remembers a fair amount at this point. And he's like, I just assumed you were a really dedicated cosplayer. And Holt's like, yep, that's that. I'm a super duper dedicated cosplayer. Also, I definitely was not lying underneath my desk right before you walked in.
That's right. Yeah, that was not. Absolutely not. And then as they get this all like sort of worked out, he's like, hey, but you know, just like I said last night, the wrestling league is incredibly exclusive. It's all above board. It's all legal, but it is very exclusive. So like, don't tell a single soul. And he's like, okay, yeah, that's fine.
But maybe I could come tonight. That'd be kind of cool. And like,
Holt hesitates.
Is like, fuck, Taylor, really, I shouldn't. And Taylor's like, it's okay.
Taylor, no. Taylor melts into his entire body through the slats of the floor down into the 9th level of hell, okay? Taylor is like, of course he doesn't want me with my boring life and my stupid dad bod.
Office worker stripper dad shoes.
Yeah, and my dairy farts. And like, he doesn't want any of that. But he doesn't realize this. Holt can feel that coming off of him. And so he's like, wait, Taylor, no, here's the thing. I really, really want you to come. I just shouldn't. And Taylor's like, no, totally fine. It's absolutely chill. No big deal. And then Holt is like, no, okay, I'm going to put you on the list for tonight. I'll figure it out. I'll put you on the list for tonight and we can watch in my private box.
And then Taylor's like, will you be in your cosplay stuff again? And Holt's like,
Did
do
you like it?
want me to be in my cosplay stuff? And Taylor's like, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I liked it.
It was
Yeah.
cool. And he's like, well, then yes, I will. So
Oh my God.
And then we start seeing like really the memories coming back. They
The
broke
mayhem.
into his office. They broke into Taylor's.
Oh my
By
God.
the way, Taylor works for Hutsec Corporation.
HUTSEC
And,
Corporation.
which also, like, I don't know what that job
The fuck
company
is that?
does either.
Yeah,
anyway,
good job, Louis Main.
Holt has decided that it's Hot Sex Corporation.
They thought that was part of the stripper thing too.
Uh-huh.
He works for Hot Sex Corporation. That's hilarious.
So, oh my God. At one
Like
point,
Larkin was not wrong. Justice for Larkin on this one. He was not wrong. He was not correct, but he also was not wrong.
Melly, you can cut all of this, but I have to read it. Over the course of the day, I kept remembering more stuff from last night.
Oh, God.
Mostly from when we were still hanging out in Holt's office. Still drinking. So much drinking.
So much
Have
drinking.
I fucked any of the wrestlers? No.
Oh,
Holt had said while stirring rum into what remained of the salted caramel ice cream so he could drink it. Have you done that, Mel? Because it's delicious.
No, I have not. That sounds like death.
I've been
It
this
sounds like I
kind of
would
drunk
die.
before.
Yeah.
Have I imagined them all passing my naked and willing body around the ring to do whatever they want to me while a crowd of lusty spectators looked on? I'm not made of stone, Taylor. Of course I have.
Of course I have.
I tried to learn how to twerk, I'd admitted, while we'd thrown my sad party hat back and forth to each other. It was when I lived with Marcus. He was out on a bike ride and I pretended to feel sick so I wouldn't have to go. The mailman saw me through the window. I could never look him in the eye again. I did learn how to twerk, Holt replied. Practiced in my office for fucking hours. Seb caught me once.
Caught him.
When I worked for a gaming this is so real. When I worked for a gaming company in my 20s, I was trying to download this stupid moth simulator game on my work computer and somehow managed to delete 6 months of character design for the new game they were working on. I had no idea how. I didn't even have the program open. I never told them. They thought it was a catastrophic system error. I pretended to be vegan for 5 years just to piss off my parents, Holt had said while propelling himself around the room on his desk chair.
Desk chair.
Used to eat burgers and stuff on my way home from school. Snuck a whole rotisserie chicken up to my bedroom once.
They are our people, Sabrina.
I threw the carcass out the window when I was done with it. I've always wanted to know what a foot job felt like. I'd blurted at one point. I almost got arrested for indecent exposure while on vacation in Tokyo, Holt had said with a cringe. I was wearing really, really tight pants and I tripped on the Shibuya crossing, and when I went to break my fall, the back of my pants just split open. I'd run out of clean underwear, so I wasn't wearing any. A large group of Japanese businessmen saw my butthole. Why the hell had I made plans to... Wow, you already said all of this, but it's just so funny.
It's so funny. And the way that it's just like back and forth, back and forth. When he gets into his office, he remembers that Holt grabbed a Sharpie and wrote Hot Sex Corporation over their company sign, like in the lobby of the office.
He also farted in his boss's office.
And when his boss went in, like he saw him, like physically straighten as the smell hit him. Oh my God. Later on, he will tell Holt this, and Holt will go, "Oh no, that was my idea. I'd had one of those dairy farts brewing for a while, so Okay, so he spends all day working, but it's a little bit of a different day because not only is he, super hungover is the first thing, but he's looking forward to this,
the
outing.
thought of having to talk about synergy and font types, the type of hungover.
Oh my God.
That he is, that
Oh my
sounds
God.
like literal hell.
Yes, absolutely. And he has to come back to this office building at 9:30 at night. And he's like, I am in bed at 9:30 at night. I almost didn't go. But he puts on his plain t-shirt. He got rid of all his graphic tees because Marcus said they were immature. He puts on a plain t-shirt and like
And his dad sneakers.
New Balance sneakers is all I could see.
Well, so he's like coming up on middle age. He's 39. Holt's 36. We have a mid to late 30s romance here.
Yeah, we have an adult romance.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
And so he gets downstairs, right? He gets taken to Holtz's office, and when he gets there, he walks in, and Holt is in all of his glory.
I'm so sorry. When he gets there, the guy that's checking the names off, he goes, oh, wow, you must have really wowed him. You're back again. All right, let me guess. Tired dad at a zoo. And he's like, oh, God.
Wait, no. And then hang on. So he gets to the office. And then Corey, one of the wrestlers, walks in. He has pink nipple tassels, and he also wants to guess. And so he says, all right, let me try and guess what he requested. Man who knows he should have done laundry a week ago, but he's been too busy playing a first-person shooter for 48 hours straight. God, Corey, don't be so fucking rude. Holt snapped.
And it's because, and this is even worse because he has just spilled a little bit of like soda on his pants, and he was already like, oh my God, I'm about to tell Holt, like, I will just go. He's in the middle of saying, oh God, Holt, I shouldn't be here. I'll just go. When Corey bursts in to talk about the lineup or whatever.
Well, and then Holt's so cute because he says, they're both assholes. You don't look like, you look really nice. Do you really not see how handsome you are? And then they have this like intense eye contact, and Holt's just a little bit taller, and their throats are like bobbing, looking at each other, and like, and like they're so cute. And he's like, "Oh my God, was Holt not kidding when he was talking about my nice mouth and my pretty eyes and my fantastic ass?"
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He might not have been joking.
So then we're in the box. It's time to watch some wrestling. And somebody's holding a sign for one of the guys that says, "Step on me, High Lord Hottie." Because one of the wrestlers is High Lord whatever the fuck. Like Faye High Lord of something. Like this is...
It's all supernatural creature wrestling. So it's not only like their supernatural abilities, but it's also like the scripting and like crazy outfits of WWE wrestling.
Yeah.
And so Holt is trying to sort of explain the weird moves that are happening. Like High Lord, whatever the fuck, he
flies
raises up into the air. And then he flies into the ring. And Taylor's like, how did he do that? And Holt is like, really good rigging. It's rigging. And then under his breath, he's like, I told him not to do that tonight.
And then he's like feeling like awkward, and like Taylor is like awkward and like a loser because he realizes that Holt asked them to tone it down tonight. And he's like, oh man, Holt didn't think that I'd be able to handle just a normal wrestling. I'm such a loser. I shouldn't even be here.
He's like, did he think I was going to get the vapors and swoon?
And then he's watching the crowd. And this lady that he recognized from the line the night before walks into the crowd and immediately turns into a giant lizard. And he's like, he passes out.
He does. He's gets like, the vapors.
And when he finally comes to, Holt is like petting his head and like taking care of him. And he's like, I'm so sorry. I'll have Seb take you home. And Taylor's like, oh my God, these are monsters. This is real. All of this is everything you said last night is real.
Well, and Holt's like Holt can't keep it together at all. Like Holt is just set up to fail from the beginning because like Larkin comes, does the whole thing in his human skin, and then he leaves to take the dog out or whatever. And then when he comes back in, he's blue and he has wings. And Holt is like, I told you not to change. Like, we talked about this. You were not supposed to change at all. And Larkin is like, my wings were itchy. And Taylor's like, oh, were you wearing your wings under your business stuff? And he's like, yeah. And so like Larkin's not even trying. And
Yeah.
as he goes through all of this, he's like, holy shit, this is real. Yeah.
And then Holt is looking at him and he's like, I'm sorry. I really wanted to hang out with you again and you wanted to watch the wrestling, so I thought I could try and stop you from realizing. I don't want you to freak out, Taylor. And Taylor's like, I totally understand, but like,
Yeah.
so this is true. Like, you're not human. This is what you look like. And he's like, yeah, it's true. I'm not human. None of us are. And then he's like, oh my God, he actually could have wiped all of my memories. And like, it's just so cute because Holt's like, I know, and I'm so sorry. You're really cool, and I really wanted to hang out with you again, and you're
It's
so
the exact
fun.
opposite of what Taylor has been thinking. Boring Taylor Hugh. Nobody's interested in him. But this like hot monster is. And what?
And then we get our first kiss.
Yeah.
It's amazing because Taylor's looking at him, and he's like, oh my God, this is his actual face. That's like weirdly hot. And then
Yeah.
they're like smiling at each other. And then he says to Holt, he's like, I like the way you look at me. I like the way you look. And Holt's like, yeah, really? And he's like, yeah, really? And he's like, and in his head, he's like, he's too hot and interesting for you,
He's too
Taylor.
hot.
There's no way he would ever. And then Holt lunges his happy ass right at him.
Yes.
And now they're grinding, dry humping on this fucking couch.
I
They
mean,
are
it
going
goes from zero
at it.
to 100.
They're like clothed, frotting, and like kissing like crazy. Holt gives him a hand job, and this is when Bob Belcher starts dirty talking us. He's like, fuck, Taylor, I want you to sit on my face and dip your balls into my mouth. Like, he has the most, his dirty talk is so funny to me.
He's just like a fountain of dirty talk, and like he has no filter on it. Like there's nothing on it. It's great.
And then at some point, don't they like, I think he's giving Taylor a hand job,
Well,
and then
wait.
Wait.
So Larkin comes in, they get interrupted, and that's why they stop at this point. What?
I forgot about this part.
Oh, yeah. And so he pops up and Larkin's like, were you guys doing stuff? Were you guys like making out? Were you doing any under the pants stuff? What's going on over there? And Holt is like, Larkin, cool it, like stay over there, whatever. And then as he's telling him, because Holt says, like, if you're overwhelmed, like we can go back to my office and, just like talk. And Taylor's like, in his inner monologue, he's like, I kind of think I have to witness this, like, for humankind. Like nobody gets to see this. So he's like, no, I want to watch the wrestling. And Holt cannot contain himself. So he's telling him about the wrestling while like giving him an over the pants
Fondling
hand
him.
job. And then Larkin is hilarious. And he says like really inappropriate stuff about about his coworkers, the wrestlers, being like, oh yeah, his name is the Rolling Rimmer and he's a ghoul and he's got a 3-foot long tongue and like think about what that tongue do,
And then he starts talking about Dan the Headless Horseman, basically. And he's like, can you imagine just like riding him while also getting sucked off? Like,
Yes.
like,
Oh my God. So like all of this is going on. And then Larkin says something about like an orgy or something. And Holt is next to him and he's going like, yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you, Taylor? Thinking about all these wrestlers naked and all over each other. And he makes him come right there in public.
Yeah,
Again.
he does. In his pants.
He realizes, because he's dirty talking him and he's like, oh my God, I can feel everything you're feeling. And like, I need to come and I know how badly you need to come. And so like, give it to me. And so Holt then comes from giving him an over the pants handy. And Taylor is just like, wait a second. Am I a sex god?
Well,
Like,
and then
what?
like Holt like sneaks, like leans in because Larkin made a shitty comment. He's like, Taylor, you're like so old, man. And Holt's
Yeah.
like, no, he's not.
Oh
And
my
he's like,
God.
I like your sneakers.
Mhm.
They turn me on. And then he's like still touching on him and he's like, and those dad jeans, God, Taylor.
God,
Like,
Taylor.
he's so into dad, Taylor. It's so cute.
It's so cute. And he's like, and I was thinking about you ironing those underwear. Like, oh, it just does something to me.
And then, so they're like, now they've come in their pants. They're holding hands
it's
and watching.
Crusty over there.
They're watching the rest of the wrestling thing, holding hands. Also, Larkin just is the most obscene character. I highlighted this because I just needed somebody other than me to hear it. Because he says he's thick, built like a tank. His stomach looks all warm and soft. I just want to come on it, then give him a full body massage with my splooge. You're an animal. Holt shuffled closer to me. I should fire you for sexual harassment. What? That's not fair. I never actually say any of this to them. No, you just force me to listen to it. You join in most of the time.
Yeah.
I do not. I do not.
Holt, you're just as bad as me.
I am perfectly. I respect these wrestlers.
And then Larkin says, your very first job for me as your assistant was to rank the wrestlers from hottest to like least
most
hottest or whatever.
Bone to not bone.
Yes, that's what it was.
An Excel spreadsheet.
And then he says, and then you sent me yours to compare.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's great.
And then we find out that Holt's got a piercing down there. We don't know any details about it, but it's on the tip of our noggins that there's a piercing down there. And Taylor is very curious about it. So it's afterwards, and Larkin leaves, and Holt is like, oh God, it's so cute. He's like fiddling with his like cufflinks, and he's like, look, Taylor, I totally understand if this is too much, and if you'd rather not see me again, I totally get it. But like, and Taylor's like, no, I want to see you again. I want to. Like, this was fun. I just need to process. And they decide they go separate ways.
Wait. So Holt is like, take my card. It's got my cell phone on it. And like, if you want any help processing, like text me anytime at all, text me and we'll figure it out from there. And then Taylor's like, well, I mean, what if we didn't like go home right now? And then they start hardcore making out again. Holt pushes him up against the wall. They're grinding on each other. And Holt is like, wait. You need to process. Like, we gotta, you should go process.
And he's like, I've processed. Lizard granny, orcs, sexy nun incubi. I'm up to speed. I'm all good. Let's go. And Holt's like, Taylor, I'm a self-indulgent guy and I basically do just whatever the fuck I want most of the time, but I'm pretty sure I'd hate myself if you woke up tomorrow and regretted any of this and freaked out. And he says, I'm not going to freak out about it. And he's like, I'm not human, Taylor. And I didn't give you any time to process it before I was giving you a handy through your jeans. I love the handy.
Yeah. And there's another time when he starts apologizing to Taylor about all of the involuntary dirty talk that just came out of his mouth. And Taylor's like, I liked that too. Like, I don't necessarily want to get bent over in front of the entire audience or whatever. But
like, hearing you talk about it.
I liked that part.
Yeah.
It's great. So Taylor spends all of Saturday, he just falls into his old routine.
Mood.
And he's thinking to himself, like, maybe I'm not cool enough because like I just found out the world is not what I think it is. And I just went back to being boring ass Taylor. And he spends the day watching BBC and ironing his undies and doing all the business, right? He wakes up in the morning. Oh my God.
On Sunday?
Says that he goes to bed with a confused boner. Because he's thinking about all the monsters.
So he wakes up on Sunday morning. He jacks off.
Yeah.
And then he hears knock, knock. And so he gets up and he puts on just some sweatpants.
This was written so incredibly well.
Agreed.
Because it's like the buzzer, right? It's like, bam, bam, and that's what like takes him out of his masturbation fantasy or his post-cum high. And he goes to the door and he's like, hello. And the voice comes
Holt.
back and it's like, hey, it's me, Holt. Can I come up? And then he says like this maniacal laugh just bursts out of him. And so he's like, oh, hey, hello. And Holt's like, can I come up? And he's like, yeah, definitely. And then he hears Holt go, you have to buzz me, Taylor. And he's like, oh, yeah, hold on just a sec. And like, finally buzzes him up.
Holt, I swear to God, Holt has no filter between his brain and his mouth because he gets upstairs and he sees the pants that Taylor's wearing and he's like, I like your pants. I can see your dick print.
I can see your dick print. Okay, also, I just need listener to know this, okay? So in addition to the pink tinted black hair, at work, he wears 3-piece suits. He's dapper as
so
fuck.
Sexy.
Okay. Then his like extracurricular outfits are the tightest black jeans you've ever seen in your life. A really, really tight t-shirt that is merch from the wrestlers that has like titty tassels on it. It has a picture of titty tassels. And then a pink fur coat and his 1950s cat eye sunglasses. And like, I bow down.
I love it. I love
He is so flamboyant and delicious outside of work. It is in-fucking-credible. And Taylor thinks so too. And so Taylor's like, hi, what are you doing here? And he's like, well, you didn't come last night to the wrestling. And he's like, oh, I didn't know I was invited. And he's like, yeah, Taylor, you're on my list, like permanently. You're on my list. And Taylor's like, oh. And he's like, yeah, so I thought I'd come and, get you breakfast and help you process.
Mm-hmm. But then he can see an ironing board in Taylor's bedroom. And he's like, were you ironing all your boxers last night, Taylor? And he's like, yeah. And Holt's like, God, that's so hot. Like, Holt is unironically, unabashedly so turned on by this whole thing.
And this made me so fucking happy because Taylor is at his lowest right now, right? Like when he's going to the door, he realizes that he accidentally grabbed the sweatpants that says open for business on the butt that he accidentally bought one time. And so he's been like moving around the apartment so that Holt can never see his butt. And like, he was like, oh my God, my shoes are right there. And like, you can see the ironing board. That's so fucking embarrassing. And he's berating himself about how uncool he is. And then Holt is just like, oh God, that does things to me. Oh man.
Well, and then he's like, did you just come before I got here? Because you've got that certain hint of satiation that comes from the freshly orgasmed. And he's like, yeah, I was thinking about you while I did it. And he's like, oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. There are so many times when Holt just says, Taylor, you minx. And this is one of those times because
you cock tease.
Yeah, because Taylor like doesn't really know what to do with himself. And he just sort of blurts, I'm not wearing underwear.
I'm a Taylor. I'm a Taylor. Like,
okay.
Holt has no filter, but he's suave.
Yeah.
Taylor has no filter, but
he's an awkward
you would think
panda.
He's never interacted with a human being other than his parents.
He's a whole awkward turtle. It's so cute. So then Holt goes down on him.
Yeah, like a champ. And then Taylor returns the favor. By the way, Holt has a sexy copper tinted penis.
Yeah. So he's all gray on top. Mm-hmm. And then he sort of ombres into copper on the bottom. Mm-hmm. That means that the shaft of his penis and like the foreskin is gray, but then when he gets hard, it's got a copper tip and he's got copper balls and then he's got copper legs and a copper butt.
So Taylor's going and Holt is like, oh man, your dick sucking muscles are in excellent condition.
Oh my God. And then Taylor, wait, I have to read this part because it just made me
I think we're about to read the same highlight.
So
Go for
happy.
It.
Yeah. So Holt is like, your dick sucking muscles are just fine. And in Taylor's inner monologue, he's bobbing hard, okay? And he's like, yeah, that was right. Unassuming Taylor Hugh with his ironed underpants and dad jeans and unfashionable sneakers was still a pro at sucking dick. My dick-sucking muscles were the strongest fucking muscles in my whole body. I could probably lift a car with them or something. Oh!
And then, like, he finished. Oh my god, we didn't talk about this, but I have to bring it up because when they were drunk together, he told Holt all about the weird cum noise Marcus makes.
Yes,
And
like
so
a chicken.
Holt comes.
Like a dying chicken.
Holt comes and he's, like, looking drunk and dazed on the couch, and he's like, Did I make a weird cum noise? And no, I said quickly, even though it had been a little weird, but I liked it. He narrowed his eyes at me. You'd tell me, right? Oh, I don't even care.
And he's like, yeah, it kind of sounded like you were choking on cough drops, but I really liked it. Like, I really liked it.
Mm-hmm.
And then he also split his pants again. Just like climbing over to suck his cock.
Well, and so we find out
Yeah.
the piercing is on Holt's balls. So he has a piercing on his balls, and he is so nervous. So he tells him about this, and Taylor goes, can I see the piercing? And Holt's like, okay, but like, remember the sun lounger thing? I seriously think that incident like changed the composition of my nutsack. It's like a medical condition or
like
something.
A medical thing.
And then he's looking at it, and he says, he's looking at the piercing along the seam of his ball sack, and Taylor goes, I like it. And your balls are totally symmetrical. I mean, yeah, they might be when I'm lying down, but look, he scooted up and stood up from the couch and tucked his pants down a little more before widening his sack. This is his stance, so I could clearly see his sack hanging between his
Weird
legs.
halo.
Weak morning light from the window behind him framed them like some weirdly erotic halo. See? He gestured dramatically at his balls. I'm cursed with a lopsided nutsack. I thought the piercing might even them up a bit, but it just made it even more obvious. They're fine, Holt. The right one did definitely hang lower than the left, but I liked it. Well, I mean, I'd have no opinions on it, but because they were Holt's balls, I really liked it.
They were Holt's balls, and so they were perfect, is what they
And
were.
He's like, oh my god, I split my pants. I need to borrow some pants. And Taylor's like, yeah, let me go grab you some. And without thinking, turns around and goes to do it. And Holt's like, the ones you're wearing, the ones that say open for business, those are the ones that I want. And Taylor's like, I'm wearing them. And Holt's like, I just came all over them. And Holt's like, I don't care. Those are the ones that I want.
Holt says, you think that's going to deter me from wanting the sweatpants? Like,
Taylor,
give them
you're
to me.
such a little minx.
Oh my God.
Taylor says, you want to borrow these? And Holt says, can I? I'm definitely going to jerk off at them later, just so we're clear.
And Taylor is like, I mean, yeah, that's, especially if you do that, you can borrow them. Like, it's totally fine. So Holt says he has to leave soon because his driver, his bodyguard, that he only got to make himself look cool, Taylor found out that first night.
Holt doesn't really need a bodyguard. He just makes him look cool.
He pays an entire person's salary.
Oh,
Just
for the
for the
aesthetics of it, which,
Oh
like,
my God.
what a mood if I
Wow.
had the money, you know?
Wow.
Like I wouldn't tell anybody that I won the lottery, but, like, there'd be signs.
So he's like, I have to go pretty soon. And Taylor's like, oh, you sure you can't stay? And Holt is like, I mean, I really shouldn't. I've got to get back to the thing. And then Taylor's like, oh. And then Holt goes, unless you want me to stay. And Taylor's like, what? Yeah, if you want to, yeah. Then Holt is like, I do want to. I'll tell Seb to just come back for me this afternoon and we can spend the day together.
And then he says specifically,
Yeah.
can we watch depressing British soaps and make out on the couch?
And then they do. So, like,
All
they get in my
day.
favorite cuddle position to do with anyone. Can be romantic, can be friend. I love this cuddle position where one person is sitting like against the arm of the couch and the other person is sitting like lazing back in between your legs on your front. Oh, it's the best. And so Holt is leaning back on Taylor like that. And he's like, I thought that like cool ass Holt wouldn't like this kind of thing, but like he got really into Antiques Roadshow.
Yeah.
And like we had such a good time. And then there's more mutual coming. And then Holt falls asleep on him and sleeps for like a couple of hours on his tummy now, like tummies together. He's drooling all over Taylor's chest and Taylor's just loving it. He's like, I'm so comfortable. And it's just
By
the
the way,
sweetest
listener,
fucking day.
We're not going to dive into all of them because we can't. When I tell you, this is one of the horniest books
This is
I've
the
ever read in
horniest
my
Lily
life.
Mayne book I've ever read.
For sure. Like, this is basically start to finish. Like, and it's not an erotica. I don't know how it's not an erotica with how much sex is in here.
Yeah. I wouldn't classify it as an erotic romance because like nothing in their relationship changes because of the sex or the sex doesn't change because of the relationship other than like, you know, doing certain
There's
things
just
at later
so much
times
of
because
it.
there's there's just like so much incredible sex and the whole book is so
The
good.
fact that there is plot other than sex is incredible to me, is I guess what I'm trying to say. Like, the fact that, like, this is a book, right? Like, this is a book, but there's so much sex.
And I wasn't pissed off about it because there are those books that you're like, come on. Like, they cannot just two pumps and a shutter in front of the TV again.
Literally, every single sex scene was a delight.
A delight
It was
and different.
Fun and like
Yes.
sweet and entertaining. So fucking funny. So they agree, like they are kind of hanging out, and then Larkin calls. And there's some wrestler drama. And so Holt has to go. And he's like, do you want to come tonight? And he's like, I really can't. I have work tomorrow. And he's like, oh, okay, that's fine. I don't want to go, but like, fine. So he does end up leaving. But he's like, make sure you text me this time. Don't like leave me hanging.
I'm serious about this, Taylor.
And then they both just had like such a good time. And then this was so cute. So like Holt, like they do a little smooch and they're leaving. And then like Holt starts to walk away. And then before he like gets out the door, he like pauses, darts back, kisses Taylor again, and then leaves. Which is like the cutest fucking thing in the whole world.
Yes. Also, one of my favorite parts that we forgot to tell listener about is when Holt first arrives, he's obviously in like his human skin, like his white man skin. And so then he comes in and after like a couple of minutes, Holt sort of gestures to himself and he's like, can I? And Taylor doesn't really get what he's talking about. And then it clicks and he's like, oh God, yeah, yes, absolutely, yes. And so Holt, you know, transforms into his more natural self, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the way we understand that Holt was worried about this human not liking his monster skin, his natural skin, and then seeing all these teeny tiny little moments when he realizes that like Taylor doesn't just like tolerate or accept him, but like loves the way he looks in his more natural skin is so deftly written throughout this whole thing because we never get Holt's point of view.
No.
And yet you can see it happening from Taylor's. It's really good.
So then we zippy zap. It's the next day at work. Taylor is sexting at work for the first time ever.
Oh
And
my
they're-
God.
They're sexting each other. And he's like, I'm terrible at this, but like Holt seems to be into it. And
Seems like it's
that's
working.
wild. And then Holt shows up at his office as a delivery person.
Oh my God. It was great because while they're sexting, Taylor's like, so are you coming to work or whatever? And he's like, yeah, I got a couple errands to run first and then I'll be at the office. And his first errand is to dress up as a delivery boy and deliver him a whole huge thing of sunflowers.
I need you to know that when I imagined this,
the booty shorts.
I imagined like stripper version of like FedEx delivery with like a skin tight brown short sleeve button up and like the
I thought
bootiest.
but that's fine. That's fine.
Blue works too.
Bootiest booty shorts. Oh my God. Okay, when he does this delivery, Taylor's like, do I need to sign for it or something? And Holt's like, nah. But somebody's clearly really into you, huh? And Taylor's like, I guess so. Oh my God. And so throughout the week, they're like texting every day.
Well,
and
like,
they'll randomly
they're
see each other.
obsessed with each other because, like, that first day at work, he gets downstairs and Seb is standing there like, hey, Holt was wondering if you wanted to have dinner with him. And then they are just, listener, when, like, this was so natural and also so fast, but it felt real. This is exactly how this kind of shit happens. When you meet somebody that you click with like this, like, they're obsessed with each other, and it's so fucking cute. He also learns that monster porn is a thing. He's like, oh, that's real?
How do I get to there? I wonder.
Interesting.
I wonder if Holt would want to watch some with me.
And then he gets introduced to all of the wrestlers, and the wrestlers are obsessed with him.
They've never had a human in their domain like this. And they're hitting on him hard, but like good-naturedly. You know, they're not like weird about it, but Taylor is so buttoned up and thinks he's so unattractive that like he's really awkward about it. And Holt is really proprietary over him.
Oh my God, he's
so like grabbing
possessive.
his butt. Yes. And somebody says like he's so good looking, and Holt is like, yes, I agree. And I did tell Taylor that last night when we were at his house by ourselves at his house, just all night by ourselves.
So then they go downstairs. Holt keeps a cock sleeve and lube in his office.
Oh my God.
Before they order dinner, they're like, Larkin, go find something to do.
This book is so horny. I forgot that was Monday. This happened on a Monday.
This is 3 days later.
And this is wild because Holt has him like get up on the desk and put his feet, like his heels up on the desk too. And he's working him with this fleshlight. And then he says, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to watch you. So Taylor starts going at it himself, and then he takes it off. And Holt is like, well, what are you doing? He's like, I just want to try something really quick. So he ties Holt's hands to the chair, and he says, I want to see you come without touching your dick. And he gets right back up there, just legs splayed, asshole out, jerking his dick.
Can I tell you?
Yes.
I've never felt more seen in my life than this line.
Yes.
So he's on top of the desk, right? And he's like using the cock sleeve on himself. He's like messing with his asshole. Holt is super into it. And then it says, so Holt's watching. My body screaming in protest. I tightened my non-existent stomach muscles into a crunch so I could clearly see his cock. I didn't want to miss it. I was trembling wildly, so hopefully he didn't notice the way my muscles shook in protest. I could only hold this position for like 10 seconds tops. So I pushed my finger, and so he's like desperately trying to get Holt off while holding himself up. And like the vibe of being seen, because you're like,
him shoot.
Yeah. You're like, let me do this weird sex position that like I know is gonna get this person off. I'm gonna do this weird thing, but like I'm here 10 seconds tops.
Yeah.
Like I need you to come. Like now.
Like right now.
I can't hold this.
And Holt does not disappoint, okay? Oh my God.
And then we get post-orgasm torture.
Yes.
In the best kind of way, because he takes that fleshlight on Holt's still hard, just cummed cock and fleshlights him.
Makes him come again. Oh my God. They untie each other. Then he has to ask his bodyguard to get them some merch that they can wear because all of their clothes are covered in cum. He tells Seb to get the tiniest shirt possible for Taylor because he wants to see him in the tiniest shirt possible.
So he's in like dad shorts, dad sneakers, and then like basically a midriff top with the nipple tassels.
And a cowboy hat for Dillahan Dan, the Headless Horseman. Also, I saw when I took the kids up to visit my brother last weekend, I stopped on like the side of the road. I went because after reading these 2 books and starting the third, which Dullahan Dan, the Headless Horseman, is one of the people in the third book. He's one of the main characters.
I know. And
Holy
then he's
shit.
he's with his stuffy
With a
neighbor.
ghoul.
They've been neighbors for like
Yeah.
3 years.
Yeah.
Listen, I literally could not start the next book because I knew that I wasn't feeling well and I knew that I'd get shit mixed up if I read the second book
Absolutely,
and all of that jazz. Literally, it is Friday night and we're going to be done recording early because we started early because we're both sick assholes. I'm
Yeah,
going to
we're
go.
geniuses too.
I'm going to go. I'm starting that and I'm just going to sit here and play Sudoku for like 3 hours.
I mean,
there's nothing that
seriously.
can stop me.
Nothing. Wild horses could not. Anyway, I literally had both kids in the back seat and I was like on the side of the road pulling over because there was a Headless Horseman Halloween decoration. So I asked the kids if they wanted a picture in front of it and they were like, "What? Why?" And I was like, "Okay, you guys are not in my friend group. Okay, like this is a big deal." And I went over and I took a selfie in front of the Headless Horseman decoration.
And you didn't send me?
No, you were sick. I
So-
didn't.
Were you?
No, I wasn't sick until after the trip. No, you were.
Oh, this was
death
before the
throes
trip.
sick.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
I wasn't gonna send you happy photos when you were literally dying and not in
What?
England yet.
You should have said, maybe that would have made me feel better.
No.
So
you had
anyway.
to delay your whole trip
Send
by
me
multiple
now.
days.
Send
I
me
will.
now.
Send.
Right now. I'll keep
Oh,
going.
please.
So then I just have to, this is not plot important, but I need
No,
listener
tell
to
the
hear this.
people.
It's dinner time with Taylor, Holt, Seb, and Larkin. And we're learning about some signature moves.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh.
I'll
When we
tell
talk
you.
about Frankenbeans?
Don't interrupt me this time, dude. Lark glared at Holt, then sat forward eagerly. Okay, so they have these redonkulously long dicks that come out of them, right? Like, seriously, I'm pretty sure they don't have organs. They just have these dicks coiled up inside them until they unleash them. And then their dicks have these weird tentacle things at the end. And what they do is they line them up so the tentacles latch onto each other. So they basically made like a limbo stick, right? Well, then they run sideways at the same time to swipe their opponent's legs out from under them. It's called the double docker shocker. It's sick, bro. They dock their penises together? Aren't they twins? Ew, what? No, dude, they're not related. Kind of speciesist, bro. Hey! Holt laid his hand protectively on my thigh. When you started working here, you asked me what the fuck they are. You also thought they looked similar.
That's right. Because they're basically like taupe kidney beans with arms and legs.
Larkin. Well, yeah, because no one knows what the fuck they are. Maybe some kind of goblin, like a dick goblin that's just made of a giant dick. That's what they are, listener.
Yes. Yes. And like they are such funny characters because Taylor still doesn't really know to this day whether or not Frank and Beans know that this is all scripted and that it's not real.
Oh my god, at one point, I don't know when this happens, but they like walk out into the like arena at some point and turn on the lights, and in the dark these two little
They're
like
both like, "Oi!"
jumping dick beans are like oi, and like bouncing around.
We were doing in the dark karate. Like Frank and Beans are so much and I love it. I love
Well,
it.
and the best is their favorite to fight is Corey, who's like a giant orc. He's like the diva. He has a little tiny fluffy Pomeranian dog, and he's the one with the nipple tassels.
Yeah, he's the tasseled tussler.
Oh,
And his
God.
signature move is Captain Morganing his opponent as they're on the ground and flexing his pecs so that his
Yes!
nipple tassels twirl. Oh my god, it's the best.
So we have a montage of them just being adorable together. We have a lot of scenes here and there of them being cute and saying things like, I really like you, Holt, and Holt saying back, good because I really, really, really like you too while they nuzzle each other.
So, all right, before we move on, okay, because this scene where they're still in like the merch and everything, I fucking loved because Holt is alone with Taylor and he's like, oh, Taylor, you in that cowboy hat, like keep the cowboy hat. If my balls weren't completely drained, I would have you ride me on this couch wearing only the cowboy hat. And that is a check that gets very cashed.
It is.
In just a little while. Cha fucking ching. Incredible. Thank you for listening. We'll be back tomorrow with part 2 of Impromptu Match. There are so many more shenanigans. Y'all have no idea. Heaving Bosoms is produced by us, Melody Carlisle and Sabrina Bradley. Editing is done by me, Melody Carlisle. Our theme music is by the incredible singer-songwriter Brittany Fonts, and our art is by the ultra-talented author Kate Pryor. If you like our show, remember to follow us on your favorite podcast app, rate us 5 stars, and leave a review. That one small action is a huge way to help the show. If you want to get in touch with us for advertising inquiries or anything else, you can email us at heavingbosomspodcast@gmail.com. If you want more of us, visit patreon.com/heavingbosomspodcast. You can also find us on Instagram at Heaving Bosoms, on TikTok at Heaving_Bosoms, and in our Facebook group, the Heaving Bosoms Geriatric Friendship Cult. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow.